Good day, guys. Good day to you all. Welcome back to the Formula Sports channel. People, it's a huge match take place earlier today, people. A huge match take place earlier today, and a huge result take place earlier today. The Reggae Girls followed up on their first ever point at a FIFA Women's World Cup with a big 3 points earlier today, ladies and gentlemen, against Panama. I said words can't surmise how big of a point that game against France was. By words, Wosa can't surmise how big of a result today's game was, ladies and gentlemen. Just huge victory for the Reggae Girls. Congratulations to the Reggae Girls. Congratulations are in order, man. Words just cannot surmise how big. Just a huge result, man. Huge result. You know, before I get into that, let me give you guys, for those who living under a rock and don't know the lineup, I'm gonna give you guys the lineup, and then I'm gonna give you guys the stats, and then we're gonna talk a bit about the game, right? In typical Formula Sports fashion. All right, lineup for Jamaica was mostly 4-1-4-1. So it's a shift in the starting formation from the French game to this game, which is not surprising. The lineup reads Rebecca Spencer in goal, Tiffany Cameron surprisingly at right fullback, the Swaby sisters, the usual suspects in the centre back pairing, then Blackwood, Denisha Blackwood at left fullback. Vian Sampson was the holding midfielder, the central defensive midfielder. The midfield four was Jodie Brown, Drew Spence, Atlanta Primus, and TrudiCarter. And up top, the forward in for Bonnie Shaw was Kayla McKenna, formerly known as Kayla McCoy. Kayla McCoy, now Kayla McKenna. All right, so the stats, people, I'm not even a thing straight right now. To the result just a sweet me. All right, the stats. Total shots, 20 shots in total for the Reggae Girls. That's a lot of shots. 13 to Panama. 4 shots on target for the Reggae Girls, 4 on target for Panama. I mean, Panama's efforts on our goal was really and truly rather tame, to say the least. 47% possession to the Reggae Girls, 53% possession to Panama. You know, Panama got a lot of possession in the second half when they were chasing the game, trying to, get a result. 334 passes to the Reggae Girls, 363 to Panama. 73% passing accuracy to the Reggae Girls, much improved from the last time, 51% versus France. 69% passing accuracy for the Panamanians, 15 fouls for the Reggae Girls, 10 for the Panamanians, 1 yellow card for the Reggae Girls, 2 yellow cards for Panama, 0 red cards, 3 offsides for the Reggae Girls, 1 offside for Panama, 9 corners for the Reggae Girls, 7 for Panama. So that's the stats. Seeing the substitutions were Chenya Matthews in for TrudiCarter, Simmons in for McKenna, Washington on for Brown, McNamara on for Primus, Wilshire on for Tiffany Cameron. Those were the substitutions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the game now. By the way, I didn't get a chance to do a preview. I wanted to do a preview Friday. I didn't get a chance to do it, unfortunately. One of the things I wanted to talk about in the preview was how difficult it was going to be for the Reggae Girls without Bonnie Shaw. Now, the Reggae Girls is a good squad, good crop of players. On paper, a better team overall, woman for woman on paper versus Panama. But Bonnie Shaw is such a huge player for the Reggae Girls in so many ways. Seeing, not only is she arguably the best, not even arguably, I mean, the best reggae girl, I mean, world class player, big time player, captain, leader, huge presence on the pitch, huge presence off the pitch. Yes, true. But not only is the class of Bonnie Shaw missed, but also the team in attack is basically built around Bonnie Shaw. The way Bonnie Shaw plays, the rest of the forwards that we have don't play that way. That's not their style of football. All of our forwards, apart from Bonnie Shaw, are goal-facing forwards, basically. Right? Bonnie Shaw is really the only one who her game type is suited to play back to goal, right? Which is a major role and function in the Lauren Donaldson system, right? So replacing Bonisha was always going to be a really difficult task. The 9 out of 10 chances we had to see changes in the system, and that's exactly what we saw. The role of Kayla McKenna, formerly Kayla McCoy, was vastly different from the typical Bonnie Shaw role. The coach, I was going to say that in the preview, the coach have to go make changes to some of the roles and the functions, seen, and some of the patterns of play and that sort of a thing. Seen, that's exactly what we saw. The good thing about it is that we played Panama, right, which made it easier to facilitate that style of play, that change in style of play and change in system. Seeing, so that's a positive thing. The Reggae Girls coped fine without Bonnie Shaw. Kayla McKenna did her thing. Evening moments with her back to goal, she stepped up and looked really good. Evening aerial moments as well, where she was required to win the first ball. Even though those moments were few and far between, she stepped up and won those first balls. Brilliant performance from her. Brilliant performance from the girls all round. We're gonna talk about the penalty. We're gonna talk about the penalty. No worry yourself. We're gonna talk about the penalty. We'll leave the negative thing for last. Seeing, we're getting to the penalty. Seeing, Drew Spence. Such a huge player. Such a huge player. A player like Drew Spence had to step up, especially with a Bonnie Shaw out, Drew Spence, words cannot surmise how big of a player Drew Spence is. Drew Spence, her work usually goes under the radar and doesn't get the credit it deserves, right? Drew Spence was dropping into those pockets of space in the midfield, seeing, controlling and linking the play for the Reggae Girls, pulling the strings in the midfield for the Reggae Girls, recycling the football out of pressure for the Reggae Girls, making interceptions for the Reggae Girls, putting in tackles and winning back possession for the Reggae Girls in the middle of the park. Drew Spence is a huge player for the Reggae Girls. Huge player for the Reggae Girls. I really want to go down the road of highlighting certain players, because to be fair, all of the Reggae Girls did well, man. I can't really think of a Reggae girl that had a bad game. Seeing Rebecca Spencer's distribution as well is critical. Very important to the success of the Reggae Girls. We have to big up Alison Swaby. Solid game as well from Alison Swaby. Solid game from Alison Swaby. That goal in the second half, huge. And our overall performance was just very, very, very good. Seeing, for me, the team looked good in possession of the football. There were some times where I would have preferred the spacing between the girls on the pitch, especially in the first phase of building out from the back. Sometimes the midfielders were a little bit too far away from the defenders. But with that being said, I mean, just being picky at this point for large parts, the girls looked good on the football, right? Building out from the back, progressing the ball. We saw one main or major pattern of play was those passes in behind from midfield, those through passes and balls over the top for the run of Kayla McCoy, and also for runs from midfield in behind the Panamanian defense line. So that is something that we saw quite regular. Um, One of the things I loved about how the girls performed in the first half as well was the counter pressing, the impressive counter pressing, and winning back possession of the football very high in the opponent's half, very deep in the opponent's half, put Panama under a lot of pressure. In an ideal world, it would have been better if we had capitalized more on that pressure. Unfortunately, we didn't get the goal in the first half. We got it in the second half, though. And, Panama tried to come at us. They tried, but they didn't have the quality. And the Reggae Girlz' main focus was just remaining organized and compact and keeping out the Panamanians, which they did very well. The only critique I have of the second half is that I saw the problem of players playing in isolation, popping up from time to time in the second half. That was an issue for me in the first game against France. The girls played as a unit in the first half on the ball, but in the second half, there were a number of attacks where, some of the girls were just trying a little bit too much, trying a little bit too hard, trying to beat players rather than make a simple pass, that sort of a thing. And partly due to the fact that I think the substitutions came very late from Lauren Donaldson. That's the biggest critique I have of this performance. I thought a number of the girls were visibly tired, and that aided the play in isolation from the Reggae Girlz. I thought Lauren Donaldson should have been more proactive with his substitutions. Seeing now for the infamous penalty decision. Ladies and gentlemen, it was obviously a pen. Obviously, such a bad, such a terrible error from the referee. Terrible error from the referee. Ridiculous error from the referee. Ladies and gentlemen, I just because I now have the picture for showing, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, it was obvious that the hand obstructed the flight of the ball. Ladies and gentlemen, the body of the Panamanian player was not going to block the ball. The ball was passing the body of the Panamanian. That ball was clearly going to pass the Panamanian defender had it not been for her hand. Obviously a penalty. Obviously a penalty. Nonsense decision from the ref. Got it wrong. Flat out wrong. Flat out, flat out, flat out wrong. Seeing? Anyways, big result for the Reggae Girlz. Yes, if we had gotten the penalty and scored the penalty, we would be atop the group. And it would play a massive role in goal difference. It is what it is, man. It done gone bad already. We can't cry over spilled milk. We're currently second in the group, second behind France on 4 points as well. The final round of games is going to be tricky, ladies and gentlemen. We have a long way to go before we can even hope of a second round berth, but I'm really hoping and praying that the Reggae Girlz can get that done. Seeing how I wish the Reggae Girlz all the best in that final game. If we get a draw, we can seal it. Hopefully, that can be achieved. Knock up the likes button, subscribe, and share free and easy ways to support the Formula Sports channel. Take care, guys. Stay safe, and until next time.